Welcome to your Daily 5 for Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. Longtime friend of the show, Roejen from over at Project Archivist, has, in the last few years or so, gotten deep into the cinematic underbelly that I have been enjoying for a while now. And I'm very glad because we will kind of trade opinions on different movies. He has a whole Discord server about it. And he passed along a movie to me, which apparently there was a Mystery Science Theater episode on, but I did not see it. But it's something I'd never heard of before, a 1966 film called The Wide World of Batwoman. And he said, you must watch this. And he was absolutely right, because I am very, very glad I watched it, and I had a great time with one of the cheapest attempts at a ripoff film I think I've ever seen. Now, ripoff films can be a lot of things. I tend to like the Italian ones because they're inventive and weird and low budget, but they try to be inventive and sometimes mash together properties that don't make a lot of sense, so they can be very entertaining. There are ripoff films that are very obvious and can be boring. I think the one I talked about, I just reviewed it, the Apocalypse one, that was mostly boring except for a couple of little moments, so there's a lot of that. And then there's movies like this. Now, this movie was attempting to capitalize on the brief Adam West Batman phase. In fact, the movie was sued by Warner Brothers, but managed to repel the lawsuit over what is clearly an infringement of the IP. And it concerns Batwoman, who essentially is the female Batman of the film, who runs a cartel of go-go dancers who are, at least in name, crime fighters. Although they really don't fight crime very much. They mostly just dance around to 60s surf rock music, which I happen to like, so I'm not complaining here. But this movie, this is one of those that I've said before, you're going to know in 10 minutes whether you're in or you're out. And this is barely over an hour, so there is not much of a time commitment. It's entirely free to watch on YouTube. The quality isn't fantastic. I don't know if there is a really good quality version of this anywhere, but it's watchable enough, and it's completely free. And the movie functions as a series of scenes that are intercut with people dancing. I mean, when I tell you the opening 10 minutes is going to give you the layout of the film, I'm not kidding. You're going to get it all, really, inside of 5 minutes, but that first 10 minutes is going to tell you whether you're into this film or not. Now, I wasn't sure when I started it, because I thought, oh, this could end up being a lot of nothing. But I have to say, this movie, which clearly had zero money to work with and was being cranked out as a way, again, to just try to get as much of that Adam West Batman juice as possible, the movie works. It works as this really kind of sweet and adorable attempt to make something quick that evokes the Batman Adam West TV show. And in a lot of ways, it does feel like it could exist in the same universe, except, of course, that even the Adam West Batman had money. I mean, they had sets, they had costumes. This movie has nothing. I mean, the main character, the Batwoman character, from what I read, the woman, because there was no costume designer, assembled her own outfit and drew the bat symbol on her chest with a marker. And that's exactly what it looks like. They're obviously just shooting in places they have access to, in people's homes, that type of thing, out on the beach. And that could be really boring, but the movie just goes into so many different directions that you're never bored. You can't be bored because you have no idea where it's going to go. There is a point where there is a seance. I'm not kidding. Batwoman conducts a seance. Not something Batman often does, but Batwoman will take any avenue to be able to defeat her foes. And so, yes, you get a seance, although it does have a very, very of its time racist attempt at somebody speaking gibberish in Chinese, at an attempt at a joke, so you're going to have to put up with that. I mean, it is from 1966. But the movie at no point becomes predictable, except when it gets to the very end. And then at that point, it just throws all logic out the window. So you just, as I said, this is an easy one to decide whether you're going to be able to roll with this film or not. You watch that first 10 minutes, which introduces a concept that is never revisited for the rest of the film, where they talk about all these bat people being synthetic vampires. That's not even a spoiler, because it's in the first minute and a half of the movie, and then they never mention it again. And that's what I mean about you're going to see all kinds of stuff. There's an atomic hearing aid. There's the seance. There's a commissary drug-induced dance party. It's got it all if you're into this type of film. And I have to say, I was smiling through most of this film because it just became very charming and adorable and endearing. So again, 1966, Wide World of Batwoman, free to watch on YouTube. If you're into this type of film, you're probably going to have a good time. Later.